Make sure we're recording. And we are. Ugh. Okay. Hello, YouTube. This is the Gentleman Scholar. Um, didn't have any intent. Didn't have any intent on doing a book haul today, but it's what happened. I knew I was going to drop off some videos that I didn't want over at Savers today, and I wasn't even pretending that I wasn't even going to. I wasn't even going to pretend that I wasn't going to look at the books, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I zoomed over to the stationery stuff. Found some stuff that I could use, some legal pads and everything. So I could take notes when being condo association secretary. I could take notes before I type them down. So always good to get cheap stationery supplies like that. But I went on over and started finding stuff. So here we go, and it was one of those. It's one of those things in Savers where if you buy 4 books, you get the fifth one free. So it's kind of like, remember those old Columbia Records ads? Like you can get for 1 penny. I'm probably dating myself saying this, but for 1 penny, you can get 8 free cassettes, records, CDs, 8 tracks. If you join a Columbia House, you only have to buy like 3 for the full price for the rest of the year, and you can cancel at any time. Blah blah blah. But what would happen is you'd find 4 that you like, 2 or 3 that you're maybe okay, but then you find yourself struggling to fill out the list of 9 or whatever number it was. That's kind of usually what it is when I'm getting there and I'm finding 2 or 3 extra books that I want. So all of a sudden you're up at that 4, so now you gotta find one. So here we go. I found. I'm not sure if this is Mammoth or not, but is it Mammoth? Yes, it is. The Mammoth Book of Body Horror. And all the usual suspects are here. You've got Mary Shelley, H.P. Lovecraft, um, George Langeland's The Fly. You even have John W. Campbell's Who Goes There, which was what John Carpenter's The Thing was based on. And I guess the original movie, too, the 1955 Howard Hawks movie. Um, yeah, you got Clive Barker, Ramsey Campbell, Nancy Collins, Neil Gaiman, James Herbert, Stephen King, Brian Lumley, Edgar Allan Poe, and many, many more. So it's kind of hard to pass this one up. So that was the first. That was the first temptation I gave into. Next, come on up. The Wesleyan Anthology of Science Fiction, and it's basically the best single volume of anthology of science fiction available. And it's from the genre's inception up until what was the publication date here? What's the publication date? Wesleyan University Press, Middletown, Connecticut. So, 2010. So from the first stirrings of the genre in 1909 and even earlier, H.G. Wells, up to 2010, you've got all these seminal works of science fiction, short stories crammed into one book. So that was also kind of worth the purchase. Good on any bookshelf. Um, got little highlights too from someone who read it before. Anyway, and they subdivide it into different like categories, I suppose. Let's see. That's just for jokes. That's for giggles. You've got introduction, chronological listing of stories. Okay, that's cool. Thematic listing of stories. You've got alien encounters. You've got apocalypse and post-apocalypse. Well, I just finished some reading that had to do with that. Artificial post-human life forms. Computers and virtual reality. Yep, yeah, you have to have William Gibson in there and Philip K. Dick. We can remember it for you, wholesale, which is what the hell is the name of the movie? Arnold Schwarzenegger was in it. Oh my god, I hate these senior moments. Anyway, a movie was based on it, and I can't remember the name because I'm 58. Just recently turned 58. Um, Takes place on Mars. We don't know if it's a dream or not. Um, it was one of Sharon Stone's first films. It'll come to me later on. Let's see, you've got evolution and environment, gender and sexuality, time travel and alternate history. So you've got all you zombies in there, which is, of course, utopias and dystopias. Got to have some of those. War and conflict. So this one pretty much has it all. So kind of had to pick that up. Moving along. Being a time travel junkie, of course, I saw the title off to the side, A Murder in Time. And apparently this has to do with a modern, whenever the modern being, whenever the book was published, an FBI agent gets gets bumped back into time somehow. I forget what time period. Let's see, 200 years before she was even born. So what year? 1815. Okay, so she basically has to solve a crime in that time period. It's not unlike Life on Mars. Total Recall. That's the name of the movie. Took place on Mars. Total Recall. Um, yeah, so this basically is Life on Mars, except pushed back 2 centuries. So you know I'm always a sucker for those, and it looks fairly well researched, so I gave it a shot. All right. All right, Cams Campbell. Okay, I got it already, all right? I got it. Leave me alone. Actually, Cams wasn't nagging me about it, but I've been kind of wanting to try some Russian literature, so why not go for the granddaddy of them all, War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. And as you can see, it's a big, thick book, but it's one you can hold in your hand, and you can take on trips, and I can enjoy the gigantic, sweeping, destiny scoping Russian prose for itself. So I figure why tiptoe around it? If you're gonna try Russian literature, you might as well go for the big nugget right here. And it was standing right in front of me, and you can hold it in your hand. So it's a sale. So now then came the time I had to look for other books to buy, and I didn't walk around that long, but there was a Lewis and Clark diary, just lots of stuff that I could have had, but I didn't really want to have. But then I saw this. Bootleggers, Lobstermen, and Lumberjacks, 50 of the grittiest moments in the history of hard scrabble New England. And I figure, as I'm a New Englander, as is Mark Richardson, up over the Vermont border, I figured, well, it behooves me to pick this up and read it. It's loaded with I don't know how many, well, all these character studies of people all throughout history. So if one vignette it's going to bore you, then just move on to the next one. So yeah, I mean, the last thing I needed was to get a whole bunch of new books, but I did. And whatever. Can't help it. I'd say that's one of my only weaknesses. So I'll just put it on the pile that's resting outside of the zero room, which is eventually what's going to be my library, is my library. It's like a corridor full of books right now, all stacked up, waiting to be reorganized. Um, so yeah. Anyway, I just want to check in, say hello. Hope you folks are doing well, and we'll speak to you soon. And hopefully within a couple days, this cold will clear up and I can do a pipe video. That would be nice. Take care, my friends. Cheers.